Hey guys, welcome to another webinar of OpenLM. I am Sagi, I will be your host today. Now today we'll be taking a look at alerts and notifications in OpenLM. Basically, if we want to generalize it, we want to see how OpenLM can be automated. Basically, you don't have to go into the interface that much. We can do a few things that will kind of leave you to do other stuff. So let's get down to it. Today's webinar will be, well, it will be pretty short. I will leave a lot of time for questions. If you want me to slide to other extensions or other directions, then just let me know. The GoToWebinar has a questions box. So if you're having trouble hearing, if you have a question, anything, just go to the GoToWebinar questions box, just type it in there. And once I finish my sentence, I'll try and check if I see any questions need to be answered. So feel free. First of all is something that, well, probably most of you know about, alerts management. Now, this is a very powerful tool in OpenLM because it means you don't have to go into the OpenLM and check that everything's okay. You can simply get notified and you get an email saying that, hey, this and this happened. You get an email about the event. So what do we have? First of all, I want to mention that we have two types of alerts. One is it regards the client itself, the end user workstation, where they actually open up the applications. So if the session is just going for too long, 1 hour, 2 hours, 10 hours, 2 days, whatever you define, it's too long, then you'd want to get notified about it. You can get notified, hey, Sagi is using for too long AutoCAD, go talk to him. Now, duplicate license usage as well. If, for example, I'm using 2 licenses on the same machine instead of 1, then the admin might want to know. User is not in a group that or in a project, that means it's not really authorized. Who's that guy? Like if you have everything set up, you have OpenLM set up to read users and groups from Active Directory. And inside your Active Directory, everybody is grouped. Then if there's a user that's not in a group, well, who's that guy? You can get a notification about it. It basically tells you, hey, some unauthorized usage is in your system, someone is using one of the applications, go check it out. Now, there are 3 alerts that the admin gets, not admin and end user. All these 4 the end user can also get. They can get an email that says, hey, you've been using for too long, like the admin got. But here, the admin gets a notification when a license server is down. Let's say you've got 200 license servers. You can't check each time. You can't go midnight. You can't go into the servers and check that they're up. You might have some people using it while you're asleep. So you can get notified. You know that something's up, something's going on. The license server is not responding. You can also get a notification if the license is about to expire. So this is a very useful one because each license server might have, I don't know, up to like 50 features, and each feature has a different expiration, and they got packages with different expirations as well. So you can just set it up so OpenLM will notify you 30 days, 100 days, 60 days, whatever you choose. You'll get notified. You'll know, oh, this license is about to be expired. I'll start my procurement process now. And of course, too many denials. Let's say that your system, your license server is up and running. Great. Your licenses are not expired. Wonderful. Everything seems to be up and running and everything should be okay. But we got too many denials. Let's say in a span of I don't know, 1 hour, we got 1,000 denials or 5,000 denials or 100 denials, something that's not reasonable, that basically tells us everybody got denied, that server is not being accessed. So you know, oh, I have too many denials, something's up. Okay, the license is not expired, the license server is responding, so what's going on? Then you go into the license manager and check it out. This gives you a general sense of what's going on. And on the right here, you can see exactly what you get, the email that you get. So you can set a custom header. This is just a test one, so this is a custom header. So what do we get here? If the feature expiration date is over, I set it to 0 days, then I get notified. But you can set it to whatever you want. Now let's go to the interface and check it out. So what you'll need to do is go to Start, Administration, and Alerts Management. Now, if you're not licensed for the alert management, you don't have this extension, you can still create the license server not responding alert, even if you're not licensed for it. It's within the base core product of OpenLM. So let's see what we have here. Let's take a look at this interface. It's a bit confusing, but we can see conditions and all the conditions available for us, and actions, all the actions when the condition is met. So for example, we can send an email, send an SMS, just show an alert in the application in the Easy Admin. Create just a log, an event in the logs, or run a broker command. Now, email and all these, well, pretty self-explanatory, but why would I want to run a broker command? Well, let's say that the license server is not responding. You can tell OpenLM, well, try to start it up at least once. Because maybe license manager is down, try to start up the license manager remotely automatically without my help. And it might resolve it by itself. If not, in any case, you can get an email on it. So what else do we have here? Usage percentage over 90%. Usage percentage if I have 10 licenses for a certain feature. And 9 are currently using, that's 90% utilization, that usage of 90%. So I can set it up to be pretty much whatever I want. And what does this tell us? This tells us, hey, the licenses are about to be maxed out. That feature is stressed. One moment, let me log back in. So above 90%, above 95, whatever you choose, that means that the license is about to be maxed out. So you should start doing stuff to release licenses. So if you have the agent and you can save and close remotely, great. But if you don't, you probably need to go to workstations, close the workstations, I don't know, restart the license manager. I don't know what you do, but this will tell you, hey, that feature is about to be maxed out. Once it's maxed out, users can get licenses. So before we get to that point, do something. This is basically what it says. Duplicate license usage. Some vendors say that if you open up two processes of the same application, then that means 2 licenses. Or maybe you just open up 2 applications in 2 different computers. Maybe that's the same license. So it really depends on what the vendor says 2 licenses are, but you'll get notified when a duplicate license was used. So you can define what do you mean by duplicate license, select the feature that you're interested in, or all features, and you'll get notified if someone is opening up 2 instances on the same machine where it's hogging up 2 licenses. Can't be using the same application in 2 different instances. Maybe you can. It's up to you. Now, expiration days, pretty self-explanatory. If a feature will expire, then I want to know about it. So if it's under, let's say, 30 days, I have a month to to get those renewed. Not in default group or project. As I said, if you have all your users connected, you have OpenLM connected to Active Directory, and you have like all your users grouped in OpenLM, then if OpenLM recognizes someone outside a group, then who's that guy? Why isn't he inside the Active Directory? Why isn't he inside a certain group? How come he's using it? So it might be that you need to check this with the user himself. Maybe it's something in the Active Directory. Anyway, you get notified. Usage period, here it's over 10 hours, but you can set it to whatever you want. So that means a user grabbed a license, is using it, or not using it, you don't know, for too damn long. It's like 10 hours. You're not within the 8-9 hours shift time. 10 hours, that means that you went home maybe. Now it really depends on how you want to implement this. And the last one we see here is number of denials. So if we have a large number of denials in a very short amount of time, let's say 200 denials in 30 minutes, you know your system best, then that means something is wrong with the server. Like license server is responding, the license is not expired, everything seems to be okay apparently, but you still get denied, a lot of denials. So what's going on? You'll get notified and you can go in and check this. And that's it for the alert management. It's pretty handy. It's a pretty handy tool. Most clients use this. It's a very useful tool which really makes OpenLM a bit more automated. So what else do we have? Next up, just one word about the alert management. You'll need an SMTP server, your own SMTP server, and configure it in OpenLM server. Now going back to the interface, if we go to here, email SMS, you can define your own SMTP host. Now this SMTP host is basically a server that sends emails. So we'll need to use that SMTP to send you those emails. Next up is reports scheduler. Now the scheduler, you'll need to download it. It's an extension, it's a free extension. You can download it from the website. Simply go to openlm.com. You can go to downloads, client area, scroll down, and you have reports scheduler. Just download it and install it next to OpenLM server on the same machine. Now what does that do? Basically, it integrates into all the reports of OpenLM. What will happen, you'll install the report scheduler next to OpenLM server. And here, of course, you'll use an SMTP server as well. So OpenLM sends to the report scheduler, sends to the SMTP server, and then you get the report by email. So let's take a look at it. Let's see it in action. So if we go to a report, let's say this license activity report, and I would like to get this report each week, Monday, 8 a.m. in my inbox. I don't want to go inside and filter it, and I don't want that. So what can I do? Simply click share. And if I have the scheduler installed, I can simply click schedule. Let's give it a name, like test, an email. Let's say sagir@openlm.com. And I want this sent to me at 8 a.m. and I want it Monday, let's say. I can have like any time of day, any day, but let's say I want 8 a.m. Monday, I want this report. So you click OK, and going to the scheduling tasks here, again, I click Start, Scheduling Task. I see the task right here, when it will run, when it was created, when it's going to next run, and also show you the URL. Now this URL will lead you to the report that we just created. Right, this one. Okay. Now, what else can we do with this? As I said, you're able to schedule the reports to be sent to your email or other users' emails. You can even just add the user itself, and if they have an email present in OpenLM, then they'll get an email for that as well. Now, what is it sending? It's basically sending out stored filters. You got a certain filter, you can schedule it out, but you can also save it. Automating OpenLM a bit more. Like I open up this report. I don't want to select the server and to select the feature each time. I don't have anything here. Let's select, I don't know, the server and select the feature, and I don't want to do that each time. So a lot of clients ask us, okay, so what can you give us? What can we do? Well, click here on the little filter icon, and you can create a new filter. Let's call it a test filter. Save it. And when I want to load it up, I click here again and I search for it. So I test filter, apply, and then I need to apply again, and I get the same report. That means you can save many different filters for different features, and you don't have to constantly filter them all the time. Super easy. But we want to automate this a bit more. Okay, we can add this as a shortcut to the desktop. Like we saved this filter, but I don't want to filter it. I also don't want to click start reports, try to find the right one and all that. I don't want that. So what can I do? Click here, add shortcut to desktop, and then you select the filter. So in our case, it's test filter. If we close everything, we'll be able to see it here. This is the license activity test filter. Clicking on it will pull up license activity with the filter that I need. Okay, so that's even better, but I'm lazier than that. I don't even want to click here. I don't want to do anything. I just want to open up the interface and have it open up automatically. So you can click here again, properties, open an application startup with test filter, and now save it. And when you reopen it, then it automatically loaded the license activity report with the filter that we chose. Now, this is something used by many clients, and you can set up your own, let's say, desktop according to your user. So if you go to user settings right here, user, this is under the admin user, and the admin has these two created. But under your user, you can create lots of them, and it will be saved just for you. Now, one more thing about it, about the report scheduler. If you have an image, such as this, license usage, for example, and you try to schedule it, it will send the image. But if it also has raw data, it will also send you a CSV file of the raw data as well. So you can play around with it with Excel, whatever you'd like. Now, going back to the presentation, we'll jump to the next notification of OpenLM. There is one more type of notifications, which is the end user notification. What does that mean? Well, let's say that I'm an end user. I want to get an Autodesk license, AutoCAD license. So I grab it and I get denied. No license available. Someone else is using the license that I need. So what can I do? I can either try and get the license again and again and again and again and again, and well, not reach anywhere, or I can just wait for the OpenLM agent to notify me that, hey, remember that license you got denied from? Well, now it's free. Go get it. So you'll need the OpenLM agent for it. The agent will sit on the workstation itself. Now the agent will be the one that notifies the end users, and it will look something like this. They will have a sorry about that. They will have a window pop up saying that the license you're looking for has been released for use. So you can try and get that license again. You don't have to try and get it again and again and again. Just go do something else. And this will notify you. The agent will notify you once that happens. Now, that's basically all I want to show you today. As I said, it's a quick webinar. So just recapping, we went over the alerts management. We saw the different alerts, both alerts for admins and both alerts for end user and admins together. So if you have a long session, your admin will get it and you'll also get it, depending if the admin wants you to see that, of course. Now, these alerts can be sent to anyone in your team. You can schedule reports as well. We've talked about that as well. Schedule the reports, basically automate the OpenLM system so you don't have to go into it and check each time, just wait for it to notify you. And of course, end user notifications, as you see here. And now what I would like to know is if you have any questions. Just use the questions box. This is our Q&A session. This is our Q&A time. So just ask whatever you want. Go ahead. I'm here to answer any question you might have. If you want to see something else, if you want, just direct me and I'll be happy to show it to you. So for those of you who doesn't have anything to ask and don't want to hear other people ask, so thank you very much for joining the webinar. I hope it was informative. You can contact us if you go to the OpenLM website and click About Us, Contact Us, then you'll be able to see different methods of communicating with the OpenLM support team. Contact support via email, via phone. You can even click here to just start up a chat with one of our support engineers. And that's it. Take the floor, guys. Any questions you have, just go ahead. I have Arpad asking about, does the scheduled PDF work now? It sends not a PDF, it sends a CSV file for the raw data. And if there's an image, it also sends the image itself as a PNG, as an image. But a scheduled PDF is also a good one. I wrote it down and I'll have to add it as a feature request. It's a good one. Okay, meanwhile, why not show you something else? Now I've talked about users here and the Active Directory. Now, how do we get those users first into OpenLM? Basically, we have the LDAP synchronization. If you want to synchronize your user details into OpenLM, you can just use the OpenLM Active Directory synchronization extension, and it allows you to, you can add a domain, and you can configure grouping of users. So let's just add just a wonky domain. And let's see what it enables us to do. So what can we do? We get all users on a sync interval, daily interval. We get all users, only the ones who have licenses, and we can group them however we'd like. We can do that flat, say all these users will be under group Germany. Or hierarchy, just get all the hierarchy in the OUs, in the Active Directory itself, compile it into OpenLM, or by attribute. For example, department is an attribute. Everybody with sales under its department will be grouped to sales, and everybody under support will be grouped into support. So once you have those users with their Active Directory credentials, they can access the OpenLM interface. First of all, they will be put into the OpenLM database. You'll be able to view them. You'll be able to filter them out. But you can also assign different roles to these users, like start administration, you got roles. You can assign different roles to different users, so different users will be able to see different things in the OpenLM interface. Now, the last thing that we can do with this is have those users access this interface and see what they need to see using their own IIS credentials. Now, you see this link? I'm using this link. I'm connecting to this machine using this port. I'm connecting to EasyAdmin2. But you can connect using your own IIS system, the Windows authentication system, where you can just connect using your domain. So that's also a possibility. Then users don't even have to remember password, just log in with their Windows authentication. Yes, I have a question here from Bob. The report scheduler is a free. It's an extension, but it's a free extension. You can just download it, install it, and you have it. So if you want documentation, you simply go to the OpenLM website. You can search here for anything you'd like. So let's say Active Directory, or you know what, alerts management. Let's type alerts. Let's see what we get. If you see HT, that's how to. That's a step-by-step of how to install. Usually you have a video as well guiding you through the process. If you see KB, that's usually knowledge base. That's a full documentation of what needs to be done with images and so on. Does the user receiving the report have to be in OpenLM? No, it doesn't have to be. Let me show you. When we set up a new report schedule, let's set up a schedule. We can just add an email. It doesn't have to be a certain user, doesn't have to be a certain group, just add any email. So it doesn't have to be a part of OpenLM. All right, Bruce, I think that answers your question, but let me know if I missed it. Same with the scheduled reports. Yeah, the scheduled reports, this is what I showed you now. If you want to schedule it to someone, you can schedule it via email. But if you want to share link, then it will share the link to EasyAdmin just with a bunch of filters after it. So they will need to be registered. Share by email as well, same thing. But if you schedule it, then you don't need it. It just sends out a PNG and a CSV file. No problem, Bruce. Okay, guys, so if no one has any more questions, thank you very much, guys, for joining me on this webinar. I hope it was informative. I really hope that you learned something about OpenLM that you didn't already know. I see a lot of familiar names here, so you probably knew most of it, but I really hope that I could teach you just something small about OpenLM that you didn't already know. You can join me on my other webinars that I do. We have a webinar for different extensions of OpenLM. We'll be happy to see you there. We also have another service called the OpenLM Health Check. We go live with you for a full day. We go over your whole system, see that everything is configured correctly, that everything is configured optimally. We check if you have any extensions that you're not using. We try to activate them. And of course, taking a look at your system, something that once we're finished, you get a certificate that says an OpenLM engineer took a look at my system. My system is valid. My system is optimally configured and the data is valid. Now, if you want, please contact sales@openlm.com. They'll be happy to give you more information on it. So that's it. Thanks. Bye, guys. Have a great day.